All right, I want to welcome everybody to this Wednesday Leader Lowdown. Today, we're going to be discussing the number one recruiting mistake that network marketers make. But before we do that, I want to just say we've got a couple, two, or I should say, two, right? Two incredible speakers that are going to be in our Double the Downline Challenge, and we're going to bring them on today as well. And of course, I have my lovely co-host, the recruiting and social media expert, Miss Megan Miles, is with us. And Megan, I would love for you to tell people a little bit about you and what we're up to. Let's get her rolling.
Oh, shoot. Well, one quick second. I was
Okay.
checking. Give me 1 minute. I'm checking okay, there we are. We are live. Okay, I'm good.
Okay.
I was just making sure we're live. Awesome. Well, hello, everybody. Happy New Year. I'm so excited for 2024. I hope that many of you have been coming up with your word for the year. I know Anthony and my son and I have been tossing a few around. One of the top ones is that we're thinking about this year is give. And the reason I share that is because in this industry, when we give more, we receive, right? But we feel better too. It's not about what we get in return. But so I love this industry because it is filled with servant leaders like all of you. And so I'm so excited to see all of you. Drop a comment and say hello. Let us know where you're tuning in from. So I'll tell you guys before we dive into our official kind of leader lowdown. And by the way, if this is the first time you're meeting me, I've been in network marketing for over 10 years. I was a professional frappuccino maker, gone professional network marketer. And what's crazy is this year, I know there's been a shift in the social selling, direct selling, network marketing industry, right? Some of you feel it too, right? Raise your hand, drop a comment below if you've been around for a while and you feel the shift. You're like, uh-oh, what is going on? Like, I really got to figure out what to do and like shift my strategy because what used to work is way too much effort for my team and they're not moving, right? So let us know in the comments. So this year, I'm really excited. We are launching the year with our first ever virtual event. I'm about to present it to you. And we're actually live in that virtual event as well as a little bit of a pre-challenge kickoff. So we're live in that group to make sure that you guys get a little bit of great energy. And we're also live in a few other places so that we can invite you. We've had almost 300 people in about 48 hours register for the next virtual event, almost 2 weeks out still. This is going to be the biggest event that Joan and I, that myself, that we've ever done. I'm so excited. And we have some amazing, amazing people lined up to come and share as well. And so incredible speakers. We've got a couple of them backstage. We'll kind of introduce them in a minute, so stick around. But I'm going to share my screen if it lets me, hopefully. Let's see. Let's see if sometimes doesn't. And show you guys, introduce you to our next virtual event that we're so excited to announce.
Are you ready for it?
I don't know if we can hear it, but
boom. Double your downline challenge. If you are ready, drop a comment below. If you're already registered, I want to see a 1 in the comment if you've already registered for the double your downline challenge. And if you are not registered yet and you want to, drop a 2. You can head over to www.doubleyourdownlinechallenge.com. We're so excited. Yes, I see lots of our recruiting academy students are already signed up. We've got so many people here. We're so excited. So double your downline challenge, www.doubleyourdownlinechallenge.com. We are going to equip you not just with the tactics to recruit, but the tactics to help your team members recruit online too. And it's really cool because in day 4, especially in this challenge, I'm going to break down the exact strategy that you need to know to create duplication online for your team. Meaning, it's one thing for you to learn how to attract team members and learn how to effectively enroll with them. Joan's going to do an excellent job of that in the challenge. It's a whole nother thing to ignite massive duplication. And you can see I get super excited and passionate and lit up about this because these strategies are working like wildfire in our organizations with our students. And we are just so excited to have you there. So get registered today. Hurry up because we're going to be doing some secret insider pre-challenge stuff in there. It doesn't kick off for almost 13 days. And so save your spot now. So I'm excited for that and excited to hear our guest speakers today. So thanks, Joan, for letting me share. And I can't wait to see you guys in the challenge.
Well, Megan, thank you so much for, let's see, I think might have a couple. All right, there we go. That's better. All right. So I want to thank you so much for that great introduction. And also, I was just talking with somebody a few minutes ago about the fact that operating a brand, there is so much that goes into this. And boy, I was totally clueless back a year or so ago. And Megan, you have really just helped me elevate my skill set. I want to thank you. And I also want to thank you for your partnership because it's so great to be able to partner with someone like you, that we're just aligned and we've worked together a long time. So really looking forward to serving the masses and helping you recruit. So guys, today I want to take a moment. I'm going to bring on our first speaker. Her name is Amy Varley. So I want to add Amy Varley to the stage. There she is. Amy, welcome. So delighted to have you here. I'm going to tell you just a little bit about Amy. Amy has built teams in multiple companies and currently has over 500,000 customers. She is consistently in the top 10 in sales each month at her company. She's spoken on stages all over the world, and she loves to help people achieve their dreams. And Amy, today we're going to be talking about the number one mistake that network marketers make when it comes to recruiting. And Megan and I have a little bit that we're going to share, but we'd love to kind of get your take on it. Like, what do you think in all your experience? What do you see as the number one mistake that people can make when it comes to recruiting?
So I think that the number one mistake that people make is focusing on what they're not receiving and what they're not getting versus
Mm,
what they want to have and what they want to attract.
okay. Focusing. Well, that's very interesting. I think that's the number one mistake. No. Tell us just a little bit about how you see this happening in your own teams or with people that you work with.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll give you guys an example too. So I like to call celebrating what I want a sprout. And so,
Mm,
sprouts are really delicate. And if you stomp on them, you can't develop that into the great, amazing plant that you want it to be. So, what I would hear a lot of my team saying is, well, I invited 10 people, but only two showed up. And
mhm.
so instead of focusing on the two and celebrating that, they would focus on the eight that didn't come to the meeting that they invited to. So their spirits would be a little bit down versus focusing on the activity. And so what I started to realize is every night I would write down my 5 top sprouts. And I think we can go to the end of the day and think that we didn't accomplish anything. And when we start writing those down and seeing what we actually did do, who actually did show up, it
Mhm.
really changes our focus to focus on the positive.
I love that. Okay, explain that sprouts one more time. I want to make sure I'm taking my own notes. I want to make sure I got that.
Awesome. So a sprout is anything that you want to celebrate. So imagine like a little plant that's sprouting out of the ground. And then
Okay.
think about not wanting to stomp on that little sprout because it's delicate and it's going to develop into a beautiful plant. And that's what we want. We want our harvest. We want to reap all of our efforts. And so if we stomp on things by focusing on what we don't want, by who said no, who didn't call us back, who didn't show up, then
Right.
we're going to keep getting discouraged and we're going to squish that little bit of life that we're putting into our business. But
Yeah.
if we focus on, okay, 2 people showed up and I actually invited 10. So if the focus shifted to what the activity was and what we actually did do, and then we can write that down at the end of the day. I made 10 invites. I got 2 people to show up. I
Right.
actually made phone calls today. It really encourages you to go on to the next day.
Yeah. And I love, Amy, that you brought up about a person's spirit. Because, guys, when it comes to recruiting, if we're focusing on the negative part of a no, meaning like, no doesn't feel good, it scares me to get a no, or, oh, all I've been getting is no's. If we focus on that from a lack based mentality, like Amy's saying, it crushes your spirit. And there's no way really to attract people that are excited and passionate if we're in that lower fear-based place. I love that you shared that, Amy. Listen, I know you have kids and I'm so impressed. I can't even believe, how long have you been in the industry with 500,000 customers? This is incredible.
So I've actually been a part of the industry for almost 20 years. I
Wow.
started when I was 5. No, I'm just kidding. But
Yeah.
I've been a while. So I just fell in love with the industry. I think the first time I spoke on a stage was like in 2000. And so it's just been really crazy. I love the industry, and it's just such a beautiful platform to help people. So I can't
Aw,
get away from it.
I love it. Well, I want to ask you a couple more questions. And like I said, I know you have kids, you're in pickup line or getting close to leaving. So tell us, what is the one thing that you're most excited for when it comes to Double Your Downline Challenge? What are you most excited for your team to learn and hear about this challenge?
I'm just so excited for them to hear different perspectives from some of the most amazing, incredible women that have done so many different things. Because sometimes maybe one thing you don't relate to, or maybe you don't do that in your business, but then you get other ideas from other people who are actually winning that are maybe doing it just a teeny bit different than somebody else. And so
Yeah.
I just think all the different perspectives is going to add such a big value and really
Mhm.
show people and build their faith that they can succeed.
I love that. And for those of you that want to see more of Amy and learn from Amy and how she's created all these sales, staying in the top 10 at her company consecutively month after month, she's going to be on day 2, Explode Your Sales. So, Amy, thank you so much for joining us here on the Leader Lowdown. And I look forward to knowing you more and learning from you. I got my pen and
Thank you
paper going.
so much. It was such an honor to be here with you. Thank you.
Thanks, Amy. All right. We're going to pop Amy back and we're going to add Megan back to the stage. There she is. All right. Megan, I know we've got one more panelist in the wings, but let's just for a minute discuss a little bit from your perspective.
Great. Well, I've got my afternoon cup of tea
You
because it's
do.
day 3. Okay, side note, I'm squirreling, you guys. Sorry. But side note,
Okay.
the year started, the first of the month was on a Monday. So I was like, what better time to start a detox? And I'm on day 3, no caffeine, preparing for the challenge. So I promise you, my most focused self is going to be present at the challenge. So you want to be there. Anyways, I've got my green tea. Go ahead, Joan. Back
I
to
love
the
it.
studio.
Okay. Back to me in the studio. No, got Maxine, my joiner here. So, okay, what I want to talk about is, to me, and Amy really touched on it, I see that people go into recruiting as like, I need to recruit, or, I have a goal to recruit 2 people, which I'm not going to ever say that having a goal isn't good, because it is. But we're so focused on the end result that if we don't get the end result today, we're literally dead in the water. Like, and our spirit, like, I love that Amy said that, our spirit gets crushed. But to me, I'm thinking I'm in a way, tough place to be helping someone if I'm in a need place.
Yeah.
What do you comment a little bit on that? What do you think about that?
Yeah. Well, it's an energy of desperation that comes out, honestly. Like, I'm a huge believer that, what we put out there, right, is attracted back to us, right? So when we have an abundant mindset, it's almost like people flow to us. But when we have this lack or desperate kind of energy, because I mean, it's not a bad reason. We want to grow our business, right? We've all been there, but we almost attract less quality leads and people feel the energy versus that abundant energy. And I can think too of like one of the activities you had me go through a few years ago was really writing down the top characters. Okay, sweetheart, thank you, I'll be right there. Is the characters of the characteristics that I wanted in my ideal business partner, right? And I remember literally within 24 hours of making that list, I had like 3 top leaders basically that I started conversation with. And it's so crazy because it truly does, like, I don't want to use the word, I mean, it can manifest, right? However you believe it, like God, your God, whatever, can bring it forward. And so, because we are attracting what we are, right? And the biggest piece of success, I think so many people think it's about the destination, right? But I'm sure you all have heard this before. It's about who we become and the prizes along the way, right? And so anyways, all that to say, really, I think that sometimes we get into this need to recruit because I need 2 more people to maintain my rank, or I need X person to recruit so I can help them achieve this, rather than focusing and shifting the perspective to the potential new consultant, right? And how we can help and serve and give, right, to them.
Right. And I think what you're really describing too is coming out of yourself and understanding that it's normal to have fears if I'm unprepared. It's normal to have fears if I don't believe in what I'm offering. It's normal to have fears if I'm brand new to a business. And it's also really normal to have fears if I'm brand new to being a consistent prospector who ultimately is recruiting. It's totally normal. Megan and I have had fears. I mean, in the beginning was all passionate about what the business was doing for me. And, it dawned on me at one point, I thought, well, gosh, I need to find out more what people want instead of, oh, how great it is for me over here. And, that provoked me to, that's not really the right word. That inspired me to new levels of asking questions and things like that. So if we're in a place, guys, of fear at any level, we can acknowledge it. And by the way, those of you that are taking notes and you have team members, the fear doesn't just go away, but we can change and refocus our energy into thinking something differently. So I want to just share a quick little tip. So if I'm afraid that my mindset is going to fall into desperation, lack-based, fear, how do I reinforce what I want? Well, like Megan said, we can make a list of the characteristics of that ideal recruit. Get it down. I mean, some people think, oh, come on, I've done that stuff before. Well, focus on it. The other thing we can do is we can, double check, what do we believe about what we're offering? Do I believe it's too expensive? Maybe I haven't built enough value around what I'm offering. Do I believe that this is the very best opportunity to offer, or it's an incredible opportunity to offer? There's lots of great companies out there, but do I really believe that what I'm offering could help somebody make to $500 or $1,000 or even a full-time income? So if your belief is waning, you've got to do something about it rather than just sit with it. Take action and urgent action when it comes to this. Megan, what else do you want to say before I bring on our next panelist? And then you and I certainly can give some additional tips about how to not make these same mistakes.
Yeah, well, I mean, just really quickly, you're just bringing up such an importance of when we get into fear, how important it is to lock arms with people, right? And so it just makes me think at the end of this, we'll probably do a little challenge to you. And what that will look like is, and telling you now, someone remind me at the end. Just kidding. But is to invite some people to do the challenge with you, right? Because when you do that, you're going to ignite some accountability for yourself too, and for your team members. And I love what Amy shared about sometimes people just need to hear it a little different. And I know I've been that leader before who's like, I give them enough. I give them enough. Like they don't need this or they don't need that. Rest assured, this is a safe space, first off, for your team, but rest assured that they're also going to, like, some of the people that you have been doing nothing will come out of this challenge taking action like never before. And you'll be like, oh my gosh, and it's not you. Just like it's the same with my team or Joe's team or Amy's team. It's like sometimes we need to reignite, right? But I think when we do things together, we have that accountability to step out of fear. And so I want to encourage you to invite your team members, personally invite them, send them a message, pick up the phone,
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to pause on that because you brought up a really good point, and it's going to give me a wonderful intro for our next speaker, Lauren Morris. Lauren, I absolutely love this woman. Got to meet her on a mastermind retreat in Destin, Florida. And boy, we all had a great time there. Some of the perks from being involved in a business like this. But as I bring Lauren onto the stage, hey, Lauren, how's it going?
Hi.
Hey, girl. I want to just point out that Lauren was informing Megan and I yesterday that she already started a chat with her group for the Double the Downline Challenge. What a great idea. What a great way to get your team on board to massively recruit in 2024. So, Lauren, I want to just take a moment. I know that you were working a full-time job. You were 25 years old and you were having a tough time. Things were, bills were getting a little bit excessive. You wanted some more things, and this business got really, you were invited to take a closer look. Why don't you start by sharing how that invitation has literally changed your life?
Yeah. So I was broke. I was really broke. I was asking my mom for money for gas to get to work. I was asking her for groceries. I felt very embarrassed. And then finally, when I said yes to, having my own business and really making my own income and building a dream that I could do whatever I wanted to do instead of a set income that a company gives you at a 9-to-5 job. I was able to quit my job in 10 months, or 11 months. And my husband actually got a job offer, and I was able to just move. I was able to move without even questioning it. He said, listen, we got to move 12 hours north or 2 hours north. And I was able to just say, okay, let's go. I didn't hesitate. I didn't have to put in my 2 weeks notice. I didn't have to worry about, what do I do for a job now? I was able to just say, okay, I can work anywhere. I can do my job wherever I go. I can do it in the car. I can, wherever I need to go. Sure, let's do it. So I really think that this opportunity has changed my life for the better. Not only that, someday, I'm going to be a mom, and I just can't wait to be there for everything in my children's lives and not have to worry about, missing a practice or a game because I have to be at my job.
Right.
So I'm really excited to be able to do.
Well, Lauren, one of the things that you're going to be sharing with our team, you're going to be doing a training on short form video. And I just have to say, you are somebody that I follow. I love watching your videos. And when you started network marketing, you had no experience in any of this stuff. You'd never even, you're kind of like, what the heck is this business? And now I'm going to be doing it. And now, today, you don't have a full-time job anymore. This is your full-time job. So you were able to leave that full-time job and you have over 50,000 followers. Tell us about, what did you do to create this following? What was that consistent thing you did?
Yeah. So I kind of took massive action, and I told myself, I think it was back in 2021, kind of like, TikTok was really taking off. And then Facebook Reels started taking off. And I said, you know what? I'm going to really implement my short form videos and take it to Facebook. And what I did was I did 3 short form videos a day for 90 days. I said, I'm just going to give myself 90 days because we all know something doesn't happen within a month. You really have to give yourself time for something to actually happen. So I told myself, I'm going to give myself 90 days. I'm going to really do this for 90 days. 3 videos. I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to continually create content. And within 90 days, I went from 0 followers to 50,000 followers. I'm not sure how it happened, but
wow. And that's 3 short form videos a day. Now, Lauren, I know that you still consistently do reels every single day, and you've been able to continue to grow your business and add to your followers. And you do this on how many platforms do you do this on?
So I started on TikTok, and then I repurpose it for Facebook and Instagram.
And you were telling me too that the majority of the people that really are your customers and team members are even from Facebook, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. And how much time would you say that you work a week at your business?
Oh gosh. I daily, it's probably a good 8 hours.
Okay. So you work
Yeah.
about 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
And
Or sorry, no. I work about 8 hours a day. So
8 hours a day.
yeah. So
And
I
go ahead.
basically think of it as like a full-time job. I want
Right.
to put in my hours while I'm at work.
Right. So you're working full time, about 8 hours a day. And do you follow then just a system to keep you doing the right activity?
Yeah, I have my daily actions, my DMOs, and I really give myself time in the morning. I do my gratitude. I make sure I give myself my own time, and I actually this is a really good tip for someone who gets overwhelmed. I have ADHD, so as soon as I open my phone, I get all these messages, and I'm like, okay, I need to start working. This is something I need to do. So something that I have implemented is I use the do not disturb action on my phone, and I put it for 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. And that gives me time. At 9 p.m., I'm done answering all my messages. I'm done working for the day. I mean, granted, sometimes I don't work until 9, but if someone wants to message me, I'm going to answer it up until 9 o'clock. And then the same thing for the morning. I don't answer any messages, even my team, until 9 a.m. because I want my own time to, get up in the morning. I like my slow mornings.
Yeah. Well, and it's your own business. So you get to decide. And, for those of you listening, this is such a great tip. And Lauren, I agree with you. It's one of the better tips shared when it comes to self-management that I can think of is, deciding what your business hours are and then sticking to it no matter what happens, when you open your phone. I think that many people believe they're working all day long, and yet much of the time they're scrolling or they're doing things that don't move the needle. So let's talk one last thing, and I'll bring Megan back on. But I want to go back to when you were invited to this business. So there's people out there that are nervous to offer the business, or, they're a little bit like, gosh, you know what? I don't know this person very well, and I'm a little bit nervous as to what to say if they've shown interest. What could you offer those people listening, around having a little confidence to begin inviting. Because, I mean, let's face it, if you or I weren't invited into the business, we wouldn't be here today. So what would you say to those people?
Honestly, I would just say to start small. You don't have to have this massive, I have to invite 100 people to this new event and make sure that they all come. Start off with a small goal of I'm going to invite 2 people.
Yeah.
And then, if those 2 people say no, it's okay, because those no's will get you closer to the yeses, and you'll be able to find more people like you. Because I know everyone always says find your Lauren. So just keep going through, and start with 2 people, or even start with 1 person. And then if they say no, okay, let's try 2 people, because the odds are going to keep getting better and better the more people that you invite.
Yeah.
So keep going until set a goal at the end of the week. Did you hit 10 people? Did you hit 50 people? Yeah.
Lauren, I love that you said start small. So for those of you listening out there, or maybe even for your team members, some people, they want a suggestion. If you were to invite 2 people a day to your business, and that would mean like, hey, have you ever thought about doing what I do? Or, gosh, you seem like you would be really good at a business like this. Have you ever entertained something like this? Right? So inviting them, popping the question, 2 people a day, guys, that's 60 people in a month. Do the math. Do you think that by popping the question to maybe some of your existing customers, to some of the people that you're prospecting when it comes to, your lifestyle posts and different things like that, that you're going to start getting people that are interested, like myself or Lauren? I believe you are. So I want to, Lauren, thank you so much for joining our Leader Lowdown this week. For those of you that want to hear and learn more from Lauren, she's going to be training her short form video in our VIP group. So the VIPs, Megan's going to come back on. We're going to share the VIP link. If you've signed up, you're in the downline challenge, but you haven't got your VIP pass yet. If you want that red rope access and you want to learn short form video, Lauren's going to be training that. I believe it's day 3 or 4? Day 4. So get in to the challenge. And Lauren, thank you so much. Any last words for those people that are learning to recruit?
I think just stay consistent. Don't.
Awesome. All right. Sorry. Your last words caught me on my gulp. Okay. Have a beautiful day, Lauren. Thanks so much for joining us.
Hi, thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Lauren. You're awesome.
Oh, Megan, this has just been great. I love being able to highlight some of these amazing women, and
there's more.
Wait, there's more. Well, we've got another lowdown next week that we're talking about too. But I really wanted to talk about how people can focus on the activity and the skills that ultimately results in recruiting. But I also believe if I focus on getting better at the skill, what's going to happen is my mindset is going to be focused on the smaller win of learning the skills. What do you think when it comes to end result versus kind of like you kind of said it. You said, who do we become in the middle? But what about that activity in the middle?
Yeah, well, I was just talking about this today of, I noticed our friend John Melton was live, and he had 8 people on, nothing super crazy, right? He's a multimillionaire, right, from network marketing. And what I thought is, man, he's a multimillionaire and still going live with only 8 people, because guess what? There's a season. You've got to go live when you have 8 people to be able to go live and have hundreds, right? And so the reason I share that is him and so many other of the people that we collaborate with, or, in general, just in the industry that we have met, we get there by finding the micro habits, like establishing micro habits in our day, micro activity, and just doing it every day and creating disciplines. And it's almost like you can get wherever, life and business are actually pretty dang easy. Like it really is. You can find a result and you can just reverse engineer. There's a roadmap for everything. There's a roadmap for losing weight. Why do people not lose weight? It's not because they don't know how. Like there's meal plans, there's trainers everywhere, right? It's because they're not taking the daily action, right? So it's the same thing with our business. Most of you, you might know some of the how, right? But it's the actual consistent implementation. And that's why in the challenge, we're actually going to be offering some implementation labs for those of you who are ready to take action and ready to help your team take action. We do have an upgrade option for the VIP lounge. If you're in the VIP lounge, I saw a few other, drop a comment below. We have an early bird special access for the VIP early bird special. And drop a 2 in the comments if you're in the VIP lounge. I think Shelly is a VIP. But what's cool about this is after we train the how, right? Like, or the what we're doing in the VIP lounge after, we're going to train a little bit of the how, breaking down more of that micro activity and give you special coaching, get your one-on-one questions answered. So if you're registering for the challenge, might want to consider jumping in the VIP. Obviously, we can't take everybody, so spots are limited in that. But for those of you who are ready to dive in a little bit deeper with ourselves and the panelists, VIP Lounge could be really great for you guys. So I didn't even mean to go into that. Honestly, it just really, it all boils down to micro activity that you're doing on a daily basis.
Yep. I love that. Well, one thing, guys, as we wrap up today is there's probably a lot of different things that we can do on our journey to become expert recruiters or mastering the skill of recruiting. And there's also certainly mistakes that we can make that can hinder our results. But what I would say to everybody here is practicing the skills properly, learning the skills, learning why when I do this, this doesn't work very well, or when I do this, this works well, and learning from, people that have done what you want. I want to make one comment, Megan. You mentioned about John going live and having 8 people. Every person that I've talked to that has this huge following has went through having one person or no shows. And I was thinking back to one of the lessons that I learned early on in my business from Melissa Sodi, from my best friend who invited me to the business 23 years ago, but also, she was my upline for a very short period before she went to corporate. And I remember I had scheduled a team meeting, and back in those days it was live, but I had only had an RSVP from under 10 people. And I remember thinking like, oh gosh, this is going to be a waste of time. I better reschedule it. And that exact thing happened. I had about 6 or 8 people at the meeting, and it was one of the best meetings that we ever had. And in fact, what I ended up doing was I made a dinner for those team members, and many of those people became leaders within my team. So I would say if you're just starting on your recruiting journey or you're just starting in that team building journey, just know that your 1s are going to turn to 2s, that 2s are going to turn to 4s. And those numbers will keep multiplying as you stay consistent. And like Megan says, doing the micro activities, doing the small things daily. So Megan, I'm going to draw a card, and we've got ready. You ready? Ready? Here we go.
While you're, okay, done with that, I'll share when you're done with
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, so really want to encourage you from here, make it a commitment to, especially for those of you already registered for the challenge, reach out to 3 to 5 people, in your downline, sideline, shoot a message in your team chat, maybe post in your team page, whatever, share the love. We're here to serve. We're really excited for the challenge. So we can't wait. And the more, the merrier. So let's max out our webinar on Zoom. I'm excited for that. as we've been growing in these live events. Oh, what's the card?
Okay, so the card, ironically, is say yes to the things that scare you.
Mm.
Say yes to the things that scare you. But listen to this, because I think it's good. Am I letting fear, let's talk about it in a way of recruiting. Am I letting fear of recruiting keep me from a life that I want to create? By living in fear, I'm living in the dark. And that fear can hold me back from the very life I want to create. But by leaning into the fear and walking through it afraid, I will gain courage, confidence, and strength to move forward. Flip the switch, come into the light, and just say yes. Say yes for today. You aren't buried, you're planted, and it's time to bloom. And what I would say is, you know, recruiting is something that you do for someone, not to someone. And when you make the switch of really understanding that you are there to help and to serve and to provide somebody with an opportunity that they may or may not take, you're going to have more confidence and more success in your business. So I want to wish everybody a beautiful day, and we cannot wait to see you in the challenge, and we hope that you got some good value today. Have a good one. See you guys. Bye-bye.